Okay, roll call.
Mr. Simpson? Here. Mayor Bonta?
Here.
Mr. Fleming?
Here.
Ms. Lesko?
Here.
Mr. Burhans?
Here.
Mr. Jackson? Mr. Little? Attorney Dogan?
With that, we'll move to approval of minutes last meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, open for discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes from last meeting pass. Move on to treasurer's report. Barb, could you read that in, please?
The fund report for the marina, 2502 is $212,514.88. The fund report for Port Authority Fund 2501 is $144,000, 462.91.
Okay, with that, we'll need a motion to approve that report.
Motion to approve is read.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, treasurer's report passes. We'll move on to claims. We'll take claims as the claims for the Port Authority first.
Motion to approve the claims as stated for the Port Authority.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on the Port Authority claims? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Port Authority claims pass. Move on to the Marina claims report.
I'll make a motion to approve the marina claims in the amount of $72,650.63.
Second.
Okay, any open discussion? All in favor of passing the Marina claims as stated? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Claims passes. With that, we'll move on to committee reports. Legal, Mr. Dogan.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Nothing extraordinary to report here. I will have some commentary or legal input regarding old business when that comes up. Thank you.
Thank you. Marina facility, Barb.
As of today, I did not do a written report. The only thing that we have going right now is all invoices for the 2020 season have been mailed out, and slowly but surely, dock reservations are coming in. Launches at the marina, there's not been too many launches at the marina due to the weather. That's really all I have.
Okay, thank you. Safety, Dave.
I'm happy to report that there are no safety issues.
Shouldn't be for a few months. Okay, moving on to planning development. Matt is not here tonight for an update. Anyone have any update on planning and development? I would hope that you got to see the pictures that Matt shared of both the fish cleaning station and the fishing pier. And we were over there on Thursday of last week, and Matt did his punch list, a few small items that they're taking care of. And the cleaning table, I understand, is shipping next week. So we should have it by end of week is my current understanding for install somewhere the next week or the week after. Anything else on planning and development?
Do we still owe on the fish cleaning table when it comes in, or has that already been paid for?
If I remember correctly, we had to give a deposit down on that. So I would assume there's balance due. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we had to pay up front. I didn't know if there was, because that's going to be the last thing we, basically, then everything's going to be closed out after that, I believe.
Should be, yes. That and any install by Hassie. And then our team is set to test and then winterize. Okay, anything else on planning and development at this time? And we can move on to old business. We do have an item here, transfer the marina to park. And I know, Carl, you have an item on that you had brought up or shared earlier. I know of those two, and we can open it up for any others. Now, Carl, if you'd like to take your item first, and then we can move on to the transfer to park.
Okay. As I shared with the board members earlier, the notes from a meeting 2 years ago, when we were going through raising rates. And at the time, we raised for slips. We raised all the different types of launch fees as well. At the time, the board approved a $5 extra fee. The launch ramp fee was $10. We approved it to go up to $15. There was then a secondary motion that extra $5 go to the Port Authority. Mr. Ekdahl said he felt it should go there because at the time that fund was much lower. So obviously that's 2 years ago. Over that time, you can see that the fund has definitely gone up. Per the report today, we're over 140, close to $150,000 in there. If you look at the budget, annual budget, it's around $25,000. So we definitely have plenty of money in the Port Authority Fund at this point in time. So with that said, I'd like to make a motion that the additional $5 that originally was going to the Port Authority now be just part of the normal fees that go to the Marina Fund.
I'll second your motion, Carl. There's nothing legal that has to be done with this either. There's nothing in the state statute. It was just something that we did as a board, so it can definitely go back to the marina.
I think it makes sense to me, and I think it's a very creative solution or a creative additional solution to getting more money into the Marina Fund, especially if we're talking about the next item. I think that that'll actually help the Marina Fund going forward, too.
And just as 1.2, I want to make sure everybody understands, we are not raising the fee. We're only moving the money, where the monies that we do collect, the same amount will be charged. It's just the money will go to different funds.
Carl, now you know what I deal with all the time, where I've explained it to people. We're not, you know.
All right, we have a first and second. Any further discussion on this topic? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion passes. Next item, let's take up the transfer of Marina Park. Mr. Mayor?
So, Mr. Dogan, would you mind kind of going over first what your initial, findings were, and then I'll kind of give the recap on what happened since, if that's okay?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I sure will. In doing some research on the turnover, I did come across a document, the interlocal agreement between the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission and the City of Portage for the transfer, development, and operation of the Portage Marina. And this was signed in, I believe, 2005. And it would be the governing document, I believed, at the time. And it provided that here was the slight glitch I thought perhaps could be a hindrance to this process, and that is that it stated, the purpose of the agreement is to effectuate the transfer and of ownership of the real property upon which the Portage Marina lies from the commission to the city. So the LRDCA was the owner of the property, and this is the document that provided that we would receive transfer of the ownership of the actual marina property. And it said that there would be a Port Authority, which will budget for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the marina, and will be responsible for the administration thereof. And then it also imposed some other requirements on the Port Authority, and that we would fulfill those requirements. And so Mayor Bonta, being as gracious and diligent as he is, reached out to the LRDCA, which does still exist, by the way, and apparently they said, oh, we're more than willing to release you from any and all obligations under this document, and so that should take care of all those issues.
Yeah, so with that in mind, my question was, I wasn't particularly trying to make a motion today to go ahead and do it, because I think if we were to make a motion and vote on transferring the ownership, we would want to make sure that the LRCA, did I say it right? I'm sorry.
It's a mouthful,
Yeah,
but
so
it's the
it's-
Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission, so LCRBDC would be the initials.
So what I'll say here is they were, not to say that they have any problem with us, but they were certainly okay with and encouraging about getting us out of any particular arrangement we currently have with them. They also said that their attorney, Ms. Bennett, is going to be working on the documents on their end. They also wanted to double check and make sure that there's no additional documentation that came after that might already make us free of anything. Again, we're trying our best to dig through old records, and I commend Attorney Dogan for finding what he found for us to be able to do our homework there. But basically, they're preparing something that I've explained kind of our dates that I was hoping to have by the next meeting for this authority, or the Port Authority. So ideally, they'd be sending us whatever document or agreement that we would need to vote on to mutually, I guess, split up. We didn't even know we were still together, but split up with the Little Calumet River Basin Authority. What I wanted to know about from a legal end, I think that ideally, it would be great if at our next meeting, we were in the position to vote, assuming that we vote on the breakup, if you will, with the Little Calumet, to then move to vote on transferring ownership from the Port Authority to the Park Department. My question is there any motions we need at this meeting? I'm speaking from an RDC background. Sometimes we vote to like authorize to get the documents drawn up and everything. I don't know for sure if there's any like appraisal rules, because I mean, we're talking about one government entity giving land in a facility to another government entity. I guess what I'd like to do is, and if this is too broad, I'll ask our attorney. I mean, I'd like to make a motion to authorize, probably, I think, either like us by committee or authorize the attorney, maybe under, the direction of Jeff and myself or the committee that's working on this with the park, to be able to draw up any, documents, do any work necessary to be able to make that transfer of ownership so that we're ready to be able to vote on it by the next meeting. Is there maybe a cleaner way or a more concise way to say what I just said?
I think you said it very well, and maybe a letter of intent sort of notion, or motion that I be authorized to execute and or effectuate this plan.
I do have copies of all 3 deeds, too, at the Marina office, so that can be handled quite easily, I think.
So I think what I would do is I'll make a motion to authorize the subcommittee to be able, with our attorney, to prepare any necessary documentation and letters needed for us to be able to transfer ownership of the marina to from the Port Authority to the parks, and with our intent being to have that prepared by the next meeting, if possible.
I'll second.
Okay, open for discussion?
So just to clarify, the subcommittee can now, we'll get the letters signed or whatever, and then the full board will have to approve everything.
Right, so what this does is it allows the subcommittee to prepare everything, legally, so that way if the board votes, to actually make the transfer, it's already prepared to do. And essentially, I know, like, for example, if the RDC is buying and selling land, you have to do like appraisals, and then there's different procedures when companies or people have donated land to the government. Not knowing for sure all those rules, I'm sure we can find them out pretty quickly, but just to have the authority for us to prepare what's needed so we can then bring that back to this board, I think it's good for us to vote to authorize.
So,
Thank you.
So just so that I'm clear, what I am contemplating is perhaps 4 documents, and that would be a termination agreement with the LCRDC or whatever the initials are, and then perhaps 3 deeds.
Believe so, and I think that maybe what I should also include, I don't know, and I'm sorry, if I got to redo my motion, I will. We also have land on the West Bank, if you will. I think that if we're letting go of assets with the purpose of reconfiguring how we do things, it might be a separate vote, but I would also ask for the authorization to prepare that if we were to turn that land over to, I think ideally, the Redevelopment Commission, which owns the remainder of the land on the other side. But maybe that would be better done as a second motion, so we have one for the park and the marina, and then maybe one for the West Bank.
Either is fine, I think, and I would need clarification. Is that all of the quiet title property, or is that, and maybe Barb's the best one to ask about that.
Actually, there are 3 deeds that are in the Port Authority's name. The first one being the marina, the second one being the property on the west side. The third one is the old Ponica property where the ADA fishing pier is now. So those are the 3 properties that are in the Port Authority's name.
So what I'd be looking to do, again, and in a general, where I think we're going is the Ponica property that has the fish cleaning station, and then the property that has the marina being in the direction for the park, and then the west side property being for the RDC. And again, to Carl's point, again, I'm being pretty clear that, this is my intention, where I'm hoping we go, but what this would be is this is a vote to authorize the subcommittee with our attorney to prepare all necessary documents and do the due diligent work to be able to transfer that if we vote.
Yeah, that's fine, just so it's all made clear to me on which entities receive which properties, and I can go forth.
So any further clarity on the motion necessary at this time?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Further discussion on this motion? All in favor of passing this motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. We'll take that up next meeting.
Thank you. Like I say, that was a very redevelopment commission style, how we do it. So in the event it's not necessary here, I'd just rather make sure that everything's on the record and at the very least in the minutes,
Other old business for tonight?
Maybe there's something that I should bring up. Carl, with the motion that we made to transfer the money, the $5 fee over to the marina, did you want that done effective immediately so that it appears next month? Or I guess we need to decide that.
Very good point. I would say as soon as possible. Ask the clerk treasurer how quickly we can do it. I don't see any reason to keep funding the Port Authority.
That was my understanding when we voted for it. I mean, if we need to re-motion for clarity, but I thought when we voted, that's what we were talking about, was that it would take effect, as of this vote, so.
I just want to make sure. Thank you.
All right, very good. My understanding also. Back to old business. Anything under new business? If nothing under new business, then I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We got first, second, meeting's adjourned. Everybody have a good night and have a happy Thanksgiving, because we'll see you thereafter.